It's clear that fans, including myself, buy video games that are made of our favorite sports that's based off real reality that's created for the virtual world. It's a great experience for us, especially when we play games with our friends online or beside them in real life. Games just give us that great feeling because it's a moment in our lives where it gives us the opportunity to escape from real reality. There was a brief moment in a particular game where we got the chance to actually bare knuckle fight. Do you guys remember what game that was? I'll give you a few seconds.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Now.
We are going to be taking it back 9 years on this one. Yup, you guessed it, the game was Fight Night Champion. I know I can't be the only fan that remembers Champion Mode in Fight Night Champion. Champion Mode was epic, and it started out great. From the opening moments with Andre Bishop in prison, bare knuckle fighting with another guy, and you get up from being knocked down, and eventually end up knocking out the guy and winning the fight. I know most of you watching this video own this game, and if you don't anymore, at one point, you did. Or if you never owned it, you played it with your friend or a family member, or watched it on YouTube, something to those degrees. And for sure, the bare knuckle fighting part of this mode stuck with you. Obviously, you clicked on this video because of the thumbnail that I made and the title. Now here's the moments you've all been waiting for. This is why I brought up Champion Mode specifically, including the bare knuckle fighting part. I feel like it's time for us to get a Bare Knuckle Fighting Championship video game, and I personally feel like it should be specifically made by EA. You will see my reasons why in a few seconds, including why I think that EA should make a bare knuckle fighting video game over any other gaming company if there is ever going to be a Bare Knuckle Fighting Championship video game made in the future. Before we get deeper into things, make sure to like this video because your likes are important, because it helps the video to reach out to the public more, and your likes will also help this channel grow. Also, share this video with whoever you can, and subscribe to my channel. Also, when you subscribe, hit that notification bell so you don't miss whenever time I drop a new video. But with all of this being said, it's Exclusive Gaming 95 giving you my opinion on what the gaming world needs, coming at you with a new video. Stay tuned.
Been feeling like I'm ballin', shoot, I'm barely making sense. Feeling rich without no money, bump Bob Marley on these ends. People talking mess, well I ain't really messing with them dudes. And you stupid.
Reason number 1, proof. Well, to be honest, you've seen the proof already, and the proof is in the bare knuckle gameplay of Champion Mode in Fight Night Champion. Everything was done right, from the mechanics and the gameplay, including the graphics, blood, and the atmosphere. I know EA has fallen off, and the company is not as consistent as it was like back in the day in the 90s and early 2000s, but the bare knuckle fight that Andre Bishop had in the game when he was in prison in Champion Mode proves to me that EA can make a bare knuckle fighting championship video game properly, if they were to ever make one, because we have the proof. We all seen it. Just imagine if EA marketed the game properly and executed in areas they are supposed to execute in, with making a bare knuckle fighting championship video game. How great of an introduction to a new video game would be on the PlayStation 5 and Xbox Series X, especially with the level of graphics that we as gamers are going to be experiencing next gen gaming. It would be amazing. Reason number 2, experience. EA has years of experience when making a fighting video game, and the number of sales for their fighting games reflect that they were successful at making fighting games. Since I brought up a game in the Fight Night series earlier on in this video by mentioning Fight Night Champion, I'm going to be dealing with the Fight Night series exclusively for this reason. Before we get in the total of sales for the Fight Night series, this is all the platforms that the Fight Night series was available for. Now let's get into the amount of sales. Fight Night 2004 sold around 2.1 million copies, which includes the sales for the PlayStation 2 and Xbox. Fight Night Round 2 sold around 1.6 million copies, which includes the sales for PlayStation 2 and the Nintendo GameCube. Fight Night Round 3 sold around 5 million copies, which includes the sales for PlayStation 2, Xbox, PlayStation 3, and Xbox 360, which were all the home game consoles at that time. If I include the sales it has for the PSP, it would total out to 5.5 million copies sold across all platforms in total. Fight Night Round 4 sold around 2.9 million copies, which includes the sales for PlayStation 3 and Xbox 360. Fight Night Champion sold around 1.9 million copies, which includes the sales for PlayStation 3 and and Xbox 360. And this was the last game released in the Fight Night series so far, which is sad, because it's been 9 years and a couple of months since we got a new Fight Night game. It's even crazier when you start to realize that it has almost been a decade since we got a new Fight Night game. But all of this information reflects that EA knows how to make a fighting game properly and promote it well enough to where the games sell really well. So I would trust the company to make a Bare Knuckle Fighting Championship video game. Reason number 3, BKFC's current status. Bare Knuckle Fighting Championship is a really new company. It was founded in 2018 by David Feldman, as it says right here. It's growing pretty fast. BKFC's Instagram page has over 200,000 followers already, and just look at the amount of views that a fight gets when it's uploaded to YouTube. Also, a lot of notable people have their eyes on the company already. Look at what Conor McGregor had said about BKFC.
Donald's fought Muay Thai, you've boxed, you describe yourself as a student of martial arts. It's a bit of a bare knuckle phenomenon at the moment, and Letway is on Fight Pass. How do you feel about bare knuckle fighting?
Letway is on Fight Pass, is it? That's the Thai style with the
Burmese.
Yeah. Oh, it has headbutts as well.
And Myanmar.
Jesus, man. Amazing, wild stuff, wild stuff. You know, Artem's been doing it. Artem's had a couple of fights in the bare knuckle. A couple of my former foes, or foes that I was supposed to fight, have ventured into it. So I've been watching it closely, and it's an exciting game. It's a little bit damaging. I mean, even no matter what, you're either getting cut up or you're getting your hands bust up. So it's a very vicious game. Although in saying that, you know, the mixed martial arts game is not much. Fighting is a wild sport. It's a very exciting, thrill-seeking sport, and very happy that I'm involved in it. You know.
I spoke to the city of Las Vegas, and they were
If you're asking maybe would I be interested in it, most certainly I'll give it a shot. Yeah, we'll give it a shot, of course. I don't think he'd do it. Of course I would, yes, of course. Why not? Fantastic. You know what I mean? Definitely.
Now look at what Joe Rogan and Max Holloway had said about BKFC as well.
Bare knuckle boxing's weird.
It's gangster.
It is gangster, but it's weird how popular it's become.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's great.
Also, look at Bobby Lashley with David Feldman in a picture together. So this goes to show that BKFC is becoming something really serious, and a lot of people have their eyes on this company. It's growing pretty fast. BKFC has a really bright future ahead of it, in my opinion. Just wait and see, mark my word. It will be on top of the fighting world in the near future. I'm saying all of this in the specific reason to say this. I believe that a Bare Knuckle Fighting Championship video game made by EA would sell pretty well, because EA is a big company, even though they are not the most liked gaming company at the moment, but their games still sell in the millions because it's EA, and because there's a lot of eyes on the BKFC. Like I said before, people would be interested in buying a video game based off BKFC. A video game for BKFC could also push the envelope and make BKFC an even bigger company, and the more eyes on the company means more money to be made, including more opportunities, and more people would purchase a video game after the first video game's release if it becomes successful. Many sequels for the game can come out of this if everything is done right. I believe that a Bare Knuckle Fighting Championship video game can have a Tony Hawk effect, and here's what I mean. Take a look.
In those days, you know, skating was still very much a novelty, and then in the 90s, like X Games came into play, and then all of a sudden my name was well known, not mainstream, but getting there, and then our video game came out, and then it was just like. But no, I don't want to downplay that. It changed my life. Like the video game changed my life. Changed everything. My sense of awareness, my opportunities. It allowed me to stop competing and do things that I always dreamed of, like the Huck Jam, stuff like that.
That's what I mean, to go into more depth. I also believe that the very first Bare Knuckle Fighting Championship video game has the potential to sell over 1 million copies. I think that it's worth taking a risk and making a Bare Knuckle Fighting Championship video game, because I believe it can really work out. Reason number 4, fans' interest. I mean, look, I'm a perfect example. Look at me making a video on why a Bare Knuckle Fighting Championship video game should be made. So obviously the company is doing something right if fans have this much interest already. Here is an example of what another fan had to say about BKFC on Instagram. Royalty Music Management 1 says, "Watch it. I was bored one day and bought one of the first pay-per-views they did, and now I buy every single one. Almost all fights don't go the distance. I remember one card every fight on it had a stoppage when mentioning Cruz." So there you go. This is living proof that fans have a lot of interest in it, and trust me, like I said before, people will definitely buy a Bare Knuckle Fighting Championship video game. Reason number 5, new beginning. It's just great when something that has never been created before comes to fruition. For example, if you are in your 20s or even older and you are a hip-hop fan, you most likely had one of these games, Def Jam Vendetta or Def Jam Fight for New York. It was a game that was centered on mostly rappers fighting in a video game, but here's the thing that amazes me. Who would have thought of making a video game with rappers fighting in it? That's so genius. The first game to release in the series, which was Def Jam Vendetta, came out in 2003, 17 years ago. Then we got Def Jam Fight for New York, which came out in 2004. And then Def Jam Icon, which I didn't like too much, came out in 2007. This video game series was successful. The games went on to sell in the millions, but this is my point. There has never been a bare knuckle fighting game in the history of gaming centered around an actual company, and this would be the first time we actually get a bare knuckle fighting game centered around professional bare knuckle fighting. This would be amazing. I feel like the first Bare Knuckle Fighting Championship video game would be the foundation for something great to come, just like Knockout Kings 99 was for the Fight Night series, because just in case you didn't know, the video game series Knockout Kings is what's turned into the Fight Night series, or Def Jam Vendetta for the Def Jam series. But that's it for the video, guys. Those are the 5 reasons why I think that we need a Bare Knuckle Fighting Championship video game. And like I said in the beginning of this video, please like and subscribe and hit that notification button, because you doing that would really help my channel grow. And also comment below, tell me what you think. Your opinions will matter, and share this video. Peace.
I wake up from my naps, good morning to my dad, hop on my Xbox, then I go back. I ain't wanna go to school, just thought it would make my mama proud. Then my mind grew, learned doing what I love will make her smile. I like my toes, friend.